Hello grade 12 students and welcome to a new Technical English 3 lesson. Our lesson today is Review Unit D Part 1, Course Book pages 64 and 65. Please open your book and let's start our lesson. Let's have a look at the objectives of today's lesson. After studying this lesson, you will be able to change sentences from direct speech into indirect speech, act a dialogue between a police officer and a driver, write a brief report about an accident. Starter. Watch the following video and answer the following question. What is the second step of a traffic investigation process?
There's a lot that goes into investigating and documenting traffic collisions in Mountain View. Some things can get done right away, and others take time. Let's explore this process. Being involved in a crash can be scary and confusing. Emotions are high. Officers will focus on three things. When we get to a crash scene, the first thing we do is make sure everyone is okay. If someone needs to go to the hospital, we help them get there. Then we clear the roadway and secure the scene. Once that is all done, the investigation begins. We speak to everyone involved in the crash, as well as any witnesses. These interviews can be long and detailed because we want to make sure we get as much information as possible. We also take measurements, photos, and even get footage from nearby cameras to help us piece together what led to the collision, how it happened, and who, if anyone, is at fault. Once all that is done, we write a report. Sounds like a homework assignment, doesn't it? Reports, on average, can take 7 to 10 business days to compile, but did you know that they can take even longer than that? The traffic sergeant reviews all collision investigation reports, and sometimes there are edits and changes that need to be made so that the report is accurate. And that's the process for investigating traffic collisions. Phew!
Now let's check your answers. What is the second step of a traffic investigation process? What do you think? Great. The second step is to figure out what happened. Great. Now please open your course book, page 64, exercise number 1. Give the exact words spoken. Let's read the first sentence. The commanding officer ordered his troops not to fire but to stand ready. We want now to imagine the exact words said by the commanding officer. The commanding officer might say, "Don't fire, but stand ready." Okay? Now your job is to change or to give the exact words for sentences number 2, 3, and 4. You have 3 minutes to do the activity, and when you finish, please play the video again to check your answers. Welcome back, my dear students. Now let's check your answers. Number 1, the commanding officer ordered his troops not to fire but to stand ready. We did it. Don't fire but stand ready. Number 2, the new recruit explained that he was not a police officer but that he was trained in security procedures. I'm not a police officer but I'm trained in security procedures. Number 3, our new manager announced that he had introduced a new pay system for all the staff, but told us not to worry. He said that our pay would rise by 5%. I have introduced a new pay system for all the staff, but don't worry, your pay will rise by 5%. The last sentence. The IT technician reported to us that he had checked our computers the previous day and he had found no viruses. However, he warned us to be careful in future. I checked your computers yesterday and found no viruses, but be careful in future. Now let's move to exercise number 2. Write this dialogue as a report. Use the verbs in brackets. A is an airport security official and B is a male passenger. Begin. The official told the passenger to stop and take off his shoes. The passenger agreed to do this. You have to read this and to write a report. Take your time, you have 5 minutes, and when you finish, please play the video again to check your answers. Welcome back, my dear students. Have you written your report? Now let's check your answers. Let's have a look at this report. The official told the passenger to stop and take off his shoes. The passenger agreed. Then he asked the passenger to put his bag on the rollers, but the passenger refused. The officer asked him again. The passenger then said that he didn't want to put the bag through the X-ray. He explained that the bag contained undeveloped film. He told the officer that he didn't want to damage it. The officer advised the passenger not to worry. He informed him that the X-ray wouldn't damage his film. He then instructed the passenger to put his bag on the rollers, and the passenger complied. Now let's move to exercise number 3. And let's read the instructions together. Work in pairs. Take turns to act the part of a police officer, investigation this accident, and one of the drivers. Okay? For example, A is the police officer and B is the driver. Okay? Let's have a look at sentence number 1. What happened? How did the accident happen? What were you doing? The driver will say, I was following a green car, when suddenly the driver indicated to turn right. As I was moving into the left-hand lane, the red car crashed into. Exercise number 4. You are the police officer. Write a brief report describing what happened in this accident. Use while, when, as, plus, past continuous where appropriate. You are going to write a report about the accident in exercise number 3, and you have to use these words while, when, as, and the past continuous after them. Take your time to write your report, and when you finish, play the video again to check your answer. Welcome again, my dear students. Now let's have a look at the pictures and the report in front of you. Okay, let's read the report here. The red and the blue cars were driving at the same speed in 2 lanes next to each other. The white van was driving in front of the red car, and the green car was driving in front of the van. While this was happening, the green car suddenly indicated to turn right and started to turn. While it was turning, the van moved into the next lane to overtake it. As it was now moving slowly, as the van was doing this, the red car hit the green car, pushing it across the side road onto the pavement. While this was happening, the blue car struck the van and made it cross over the central line. The yellow car and the white car were coming in the opposite direction on the other side of the road when the van suddenly crossed over the central line. The yellow car tried to avoid it by moving in front of the white car, but while this was happening, the van struck the white car and the rear of the yellow car. This is a sample report. You can write about the accident using the pictures in front of you. Now please, let's move to exercise number 5, page 65. Complete each sentence using 2 different nouns, both related to the verb in brackets. And let's have a look at the example sentence number 1. The antenna is a transmitter which is used for the transmission of signals to the satellite. Here, we use 2 nouns from the verb transmit. Transmit, transmitter, and transmission. All you have to do is to do the same as we did in sentence number 1 to the rest of the sentence. You have 5 minutes to do the activity. You can start now. Welcome back, my dear students. Now let's check your answers. This handheld metal detector is used for the, what is the second noun? Detection, excellent, of dangerous items, such as guns or knives. Number 3, you should connect an amplifier, good, to your MP3 player. This will give you the music, the space which you need, the amplification. Great. Number 4, this country is a major producer of crude oil for the world's refiners. Oil production. Great. Number 5, if you want to increase our level of electricity generation, you will have to allow us to build a larger generator. Good. Number 6, one way to increase crop yields would be to install a huge reflector in space. The space, the reflection of the sun's rays. Great. Great, my dear students. This is the end of our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Till we meet again in a new lesson. Thank you for watching and goodbye.